The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hello and welcome to another edition of our program, CHW in Action, with your host, your CHW, Rafael Calderon. As usual, I want to say that, or I'd like to say that CHW stands for Community Health Worker. In action, because I'm always in action, out in the community of Nashua, in the community of the whole state of New Hampshire, trying to educate people on how to live a healthy lifestyle. And it is always a pleasure for me to have here as guests people who know more than I do about how to live a healthy lifestyle, that I admire, that I look up to, and that are very cool. And this week we have Grace Tavares. So let's say hi to Grace. Grace, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm fine. Thank you for finally being here. Okay. Roll your eyes. I've been trying to get you here for more than a year.
That's very true.
Because you do amazing work, okay? I truly do look up to you. I admire you. You do a lot.
Well, thank you.
And you do it behind the scenes.
You know, I truly believe that when you're trying to get things done or trying to serve God, you don't need a camera to be following you. You don't need accolades because he says, don't let the left hand see what the right hand is doing.
True.
So I'd rather be doing than talking. And I'd rather be out there being useful than looking for personal attention, because that doesn't really add up to anything that's worth having.
See? And you used the word useful. That's my title, Rafael Useful Calderon. Okay? So now I know you a little bit, but let's, for the audience, for those that don't know this amazing lady that you are, tell us who you are, what you do, and what you're about.
Well, my name is Grace Tavares. I've lived in Nashua for 27 years. I am a mother of 5. I came up here from New York. I have a very diverse family, many ethnicities. I've lived in many, many places, but I chose Nashua. I feel the safest in Nashua. I believe it's a really good place to live. I thought it was a great place to raise children. I've had 5 children, already 4 go through Nashua North, and my younger daughter right now is at the high school. And I find that Nashua is really family friendly. It's really out there. If you choose to make the most of what the city has to offer, it's a good place for education. It's family based. There's a lot of really good people in Nashua. They may not be, easy to find, but when you find the good people, it's amazing that there are really good people that care and want to help in the community. I, as a woman, found when I got divorced that how challenging it was for women or families or single income parents to make it. And when I saw how difficult it was, I wondered how many more people like I was going through these tough times, and wondered, what they did, how they survived. I was lucky that I had good family and friends, and God blessed me with people in the way that I survived, but it's hard. And at that point, I really decided, hey, I want to help other women. And it started there. And volunteering in churches. I mean, at one point, I used to go to St. Francis Xavier over in Chandler on Saturdays with the Spanish Misa and the people, and started there by volunteering. And then when my kids went to school, I volunteered wherever school my children were. I was there, and I'm very blessed that my husband Butch really wanted me home with my children, and allowed me the time that I could volunteer. And he always said that when you're helping people, it's not about what you get back. One thing that I've always found hard in different communities is that when somebody says, can you do me a favor, they almost expect you to charge them. So they say, oh, can you give me a ride here? They expect you to say, well, give me 10 or 20 for gas. That's not a favor. Right. And so, the more people I got to help, the more I saw a need, the more I got involved. I've helped people through some really horrible situations, where there was domestic violence, through bridges, to somebody getting a U visa based on some horrible situations. And then I've had the privilege of meeting some really good attorneys in Nashua, like Raymond Mello or Bob Artists and people like that really are invested in the community, and maybe translated for them with people, and got to see another side. And that also helped me, because when you're translating on those difficult things, you have to have people's confidence. Right. And you need to balance that confidence when you see them at a school or at a function, because that's really private. And every job I've had to balance when the things are really confidential and then when you see them and treat them the same. So, and I've grown in the community with families and people I've helped, and I've met some really wonderful people. And for me, it's really amazing when you see someone that you've helped overcome so many just hardships or, things that you didn't think anybody would survive from. And, you get a GED, get their license, get a car,
You see
get a
someone
job.
living a better life because
Yeah.
of your work.
Yeah,
And
they've overcome those hurdles that will keep some people from getting out of bed. And then you see, wow, all my hard work, all my lack of time with my family, all that volunteer time was worth it because there was fruit at the end of the rainbow. These people actually are better in their lives. That person's a better parent. That person's family is doing better. Sometimes people have this, I don't know why they stereotype, well, if you help somebody, it's forever going to be dependent. That's not always the case. Sometimes you just come in somebody's life when they really need help, that one time in their life. It may be a week, it could be a month. But when they get up, they're independent. You have bettered somebody in the community. And as we get older, these people, their children, whoever, might be the ones in the position to be helping us because every day we get older.
We do. So you're saying that your motivation to help people comes from what you went through, and then you basically
That's a good part of it. I mean, a part of helping people is just based on things you've been through, or what somebody you've been close to, or a family member, what they've been through, somebody that's impacted you, that you've seen them suffer or go through some things. It's a part of it. Another thing is that, being a spiritual person, God says, how do you serve him? Well, I pray every day, God, let me be your humble servant. What is it you want me to do today? And I always say, I'm going to help your people. I don't say I want to help a certain specific ethnicity or a certain location. Wherever he wants me to serve is what I'm going to do. And so I want to help people. So it may have started with wanting to help women. It may have started with wanting to help women that were single or going through hardships, or with the children. It may have been that my children brought home a friend and I didn't know they were going through some bad things, but the kids said something, and then it was like, okay, how can I help you? And it just blossomed from there. And, national school system, they do a lot for their families. So being a volunteer, being there, seeing that you're sending your children into a caring environment, that not only do they want to educate them, but they care, also motivates you to want to do more and get involved.
I agree with you. See, Nashua to me is one of the best places to live in.
Yes, I believe so.
And I tell everybody, I live in Manchester, but Nashua is my home. Most of the things that I do them in Nashua. Lately, I've been working under the radar, per se, because I'm working on a big project. I have this big thing coming up. And I don't want, sometimes you talk to someone about a plan, a project, and they find ways to make it sound less exciting than it is.
Well, and in that aspect, I would say if you, the best kept secret is the one you keep quiet, or, don't count your chickens before they hatch. So if you don't tell somebody anything, there's no expectation. But when you tell them and it's cemented and they can't knock it over, then they have to accept what it is. I think part of I don't know if it's culture, or it's television or society, where people have a tough time seeing somebody else be successful.
Yes.
So, and sometimes it's unintentional. So I always find that's why I don't like to talk a lot. I like to do a lot. That's why I rather have my feet in the trenches and just do what I need to do, because you're more effective. Sometimes letting people know what you want to do or talking about it sometimes takes away from the things that you actually do. I always have felt that there's two categories of people. Okay. The ones that talk and the ones that do. And I always want to be with the ones that do, because you're going to get something accomplished. I mean, everybody has family, everybody has jobs and commitments, and we have social activities or other, obligations. However, if you say, I'm going to do A, then do it. If you say, I want to help you, but I only have one day a month, then give that one day. I feel like if somebody wants to volunteer, it's not to volunteer every day or every available moment, But if you volunteer once out of a year or once out of a month, it makes a difference, whether it be in the schools, whether it be in the community or a church, because time adds up. And every little piece of the puzzle is needed. You know, it's not one person can stand up and say, hey, this was me. No, it takes 15, 20, 30 people to make something successful. And it takes all the diversities, a man, woman, children, grandma, whatever, because everybody has different knowledge and expertise. So when we all come together to do something that's in common for a common good, like help our community or help our seniors or help our kids at school, it's a common goal, but everybody has something to offer. Everybody's bringing a different gift to the table. And if people could just see it, you know, you come from a different country. So you may look at education differently than I, who may look at it that, you know, it's been so accessible. Maybe I don't appreciate as much as you, per se.
Right.
Somebody else might say, you know what, you know, I know how to, you know, hook up the computers. I can fix computers for you. So maybe we don't have a budget for big computers on the project, but this person knows how to fix them. This one might have some spare parts. And we come together and voila, we got something good, you know, because we've allowed everybody to bring something. You know, that's the hardest thing for me is when I get in situations where, I don't want to say glory hounds, but people get in the way of letting you do things because either they feel insecure or have some chip on their shoulder. And I always say, look, I'm not here to criticize you. I'm not here to judge you. But if you want to help, help. And if you don't, then step aside and let people help. Because that's another hindrance, is that because we're not happy, we don't want to let other people be happy. And, you know.
And in that note,
Yes.
let's talk about happiness.
Yes, okay.
Okay? You are the citizen of the year. Okay? I want the whole city, everybody that watches this program to know why you are the citizen of the year. Tell me about that.
Well, I've been in Nashville, like I said, 27 years. I have been volunteering since I became a parent, whether it was at the church or the school or wherever, you know, I could lend a hand, whether it be a neighbor who's, tenants moved out and trashed the place and painting, or just because I like to paint to help them have fun, or, you know, or maybe bringing a meal to someone who's lost a loved one, or who needs some, you know, who's had operation, you know, just things that if you look at everything as, how would I like to be treated? You know, if it was me or my family or my children, how would I treat it? So I'm getting involved with Rosemary, she serves a lot of the families at the school that I work at.
Rosemary from the Salvation
Army, excuse me. Rosemary Dykeman, the sweetest person on this earth.
I agree.
Yes. So getting involved with her and her servicing the families, giving them food, helping them in the holidays if they need clothing, if there's an emergency, whatever these people needed, her kindness and her approach to it also impacted me immensely, because she always said it's between them and God. And if you put it in that perspective, whatever the request is and need, if it's reasonable, you just help them because it's between them and God. And it's true.
It's true.
So it just began by taking families there, maybe translating and helping them pick up groceries or getting clothing or whatever the need might be, and to evolve into other capacities, maybe delivering food to a senior center, or, maybe, somebody else says, hey, she may call me and say, somebody needs furniture or somebody needs, whatever the need is. Do you know somebody? And I may have access to a great many things for free.
How did that get to Citizen of the Year?
Well, because it evolved. If I needed something, I may pick up the phone and say, Rosemary, can you help with this? And she may call and say, Grace, I have a family that needs this. And I'm like, hey, okay, can we connect? And it just kind of grew from that. So it wasn't a one-sided relationship. It was nurturing, but it was beneficial for both.
Right.
And then, as she would tell me, other people who are just as great in the community that are doing good things that maybe I was not privy to what they were doing or their agency, she brought in my horizons and said, this person can help, or take them here. And so it just kept going, and it became years.
Okay.
And it also became like second nature, like it's not volunteering. So if I had a day off or it was a snow day, I might go and fill bags for her. And it just kind of just kept blossoming. And she...
I'm going to do something I hardly ever do.
What?
I'm going to stop you for a second.
Yes.
And I'm going to address the audience, okay? Because she's very modest. I'm trying to get her to say that she was chosen to be Citizen of the Year because of all the amazing work that she does with the Salvation Army. And I just think that in Nashua, we should appreciate true community leaders like yourself. So I want her to get it, but you see how modest she is that she won't say it. You are the Citizen of the Year. You do amazing work.
Well, I think Rosemary wanted it to be someone that is really in the trenches. You know, I mean, we've had some great mayors and governors, and I mean, right now we have in office some really great people that, you know, also are worthy of being Citizen of the Year. But I think she wanted to show when people like you and I, who are dedicated, who give the time, that it's not unnoticed.
Right.
For me, it was very emotional because for her to take that much time and think of me in that capacity when I think so highly of her, it was a very big honor. But like I said to you, I don't feel like I need to be looking for accolades or my picture in the paper because, like I said, I'm more effective if I'm just out there doing the work and helping the people.
I know, and I agree with you. But here's the thing, Grace, is that to me, you're a motivation to many, many people. Do you know how many seniors do not go hungry at night because of you? Do you know how many families do not struggle because of you? Do you know how many people, when I used to work at Lamprey, are now healthier, living healthier lifestyles because of you? So it's not just to say, look at Grace, she's amazing. It's about acknowledging the fact that you do all these things because you motivate others to do the same thing. You think I come from Manchester to help you with delivering that food for the seniors? I don't do that for anybody else.
Well,
But
I got to tell you that to take those bags to those two places and come up those 2 flights of stairs when those bags weigh a ton once a month and take it to these people. I mean, when you don't come to help and I'm coming up those stairs with those extremely heavy bags, I'm thinking, oh, okay. But when I get to the senior center and not this month, last month, there was meat. And one of the gentlemen says, oh, wow, there's meat. That one little package of meat. And I go home and I say to myself, they're excited about one pack of meat. You know, and here I am complaining, oh, I didn't get a chance to get lunch today. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what motivates. That's what keeps me doing it. It's not that I need somebody to say, hey, this is what Grace is doing. No, it's that I know I lost my grandparents within the last year. You know, there wasn't that network that Nashua has to offer to make sure that they ate. You know, my father paid people to come in and care for my grandmother. He paid people to cook for grandma if he wasn't home, if he has something to do, because, you know, my dad still has children at home, you know. So I see that in other places. I have a sister that lives in New York that when she got divorced and had young children, if my mother wasn't there, what would have happened? You know, we take a lot for granted that there's so much here in Nashua. But on the other hand, I'm so grateful and blessed that it's here that I can provide these services and I can serve my God because this is what I live for. It's not about, you know, when your time comes, what do you leave behind? You can't take any of your material things with you, but what do you take behind? The reputation that you were a good person and you helped people, or that you were extremely mean and selfish, you know, because it's one or the other, you know, and that's important. Now, yes, I feel better when I know that somebody's eating. I feel better when I see a child that came to school with a pair of sneakers on that were taped and now they're leaving with a new pair of sneakers. You know, there was a time when we didn't have an agency like Katie's Closet that could help out all these children. I may have said to my kids, okay, do those sneakers still fit you? Like, hey, give them to me, you know? Or some friend of mine, you know, do you have anything? Or, you know, if somebody says to me, hey, Grace, you know, we're downsizing our house, or somebody I know lost a relative or a spouse and they're downsizing from a house to a condo, and they go, I got all this stuff. I don't want to throw it away, but what do I do with it? And I said, don't worry. I have people I can help. And then that's what all the people in the community that help will say, oh, somebody might say, maybe at a church, might say, we have a family that needs bunk beds for this family. I said, whoa, these people have beds. Call them up, put them in connection. They go get it. It's just a matter of sometimes just connecting the dots.
Connecting the dots.
Help the people. It saves the landfill. People are getting what they need. And it makes people who normally wouldn't be feeling good about themselves because of their tragedy or their health or their circumstances feel better. Now, you talk about making people feel better. When we go out there and we tell people how to better care for themselves, be independent, eat healthy, It's important. People always think eat healthy is buy gourmet food or organic food that's so expensive that they can't afford. No, it's making good choices.
It's making good choices.
So not just your eating and your physical health is good choices, but also your life choices. Everything's connected.
Everything's connected. I meant to tell you, I want to tell you on the TV show, I found you 5 people for our next class.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Okay, I confirmed that new friend of mine named Emmanuel and his wife, Fior, is coming back to our program. Modesta and Reina, 2 ladies that I love, they're coming along. So I have them, and I'm also working on another lady, but I can't tell you her name because I'm working on it. But in total, 5 people, they all want to do the class. They asked me to find out what time. So I told them, let me talk to Grace, and then I'll give you a time and a place.
Now, see, that's a fun part of my life, besides my children and my family. But when we are out there teaching nutrition on behalf of UNH, Cooperative Extensions, when we see these people,
When you say we, who is we?
when you come and help me.
So I want people to know that, I'm your helper, okay?
Yes, I love it when you volunteer, but there's also some other parents like Jasmine, De Jesus that will help me, or sometimes I've worked in the past with Angela Mercado, and there's other people in the city that want to help. And for me, it's really good when someone who's taken my class wants to come back and help and volunteer. And that makes it all the more fun. Like you were a previous participant. Juan Marcos has been a previous participant, or Adelina Hernandez. It's all these wonderful people in the community that we've met in different places. But when we get together to teach this class about nutrition and help people to be healthy, it ends up being more of a, if you were getting together with your family, it becomes friendly, it becomes social. People are sharing different family secrets or traits or grandma's, information like, my mom did this, or this is what we did in my family. It's like, maybe you peel the potato this way, or, maybe you wrap this and all those little tidbits of information now becomes part of everybody's, resources. And it becomes fun, and we end up laughing a lot, and sometimes people bring their kids, or they may bring their grandparents or a parent in their care, and even that person's out being social. It brightens everyone's day, but it doesn't seem like work because we're having fun. Exactly. But at the end of the day, you may be talking to them about maintaining their diabetes, but I'm talking to them about being healthy, getting exercise, drinking water, the things that are important, and all these pieces go together. But it ends up being fun. It's not, to me, it's not work. I think that I'm very blessed that I have the opportunity that my employment, they mesh together. And at the end of the day, what I do for a living is my passion, is helping people, it's bettering people, it's enabling people to be independent. And it's all on the premise of we're helping each other. My having 5 kids, I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow or where they're going to be. But hopefully these little gardens of good deeds that we do helps them wherever they go, and that's a wonderful thing. I think also now that, the city of Nashua is getting involved in having community gardens at the school or throughout the city. Now, I love plants.
I love that idea.
I think that's another way, because now we're giving a second wave of opportunity for people to eat healthy. Here's a good way to get produce. This is what you can do. Teach the children the life cycle, the importance of the farmer and the bees, because, misconception is everything's at the supermarket. Well, how did it get to the supermarket? Like Hannaford's, for example, a lot of their fresh produce, it's from our local farmers. It might be from Lowell's or Brookdale's or maybe Sullivan's or Pateri's. These are people whose families grew up being farmers, and we're losing them,
We need to support local. And that is going to open up a whole line of conversation. And like I told you before, time flies by when you're having fun.
Yes.
So now we're about to run out of time.
Okay.
So is there a message that you'd like to send to the community of Nashua?
I think that no matter where you come from, no matter what your ethnicity is, no matter who you are, if you choose to be a leader, if you choose to get involved, if you choose to care, then do it. Because it starts with little steps, but eventually you can be leaping and bounding and helping. Because it takes everybody in the community to care, whether it's getting together to do a garden together, whether it's making sure the kids get off to school safely, or whether it's making sure that our family members, as they get older, are cared for. It's networking, it's interacting, it's everybody. Nashua is so diverse, but that's the beauty of it. That's what our country is based on, diversity. So care and do. And then whatever aspect you try, you'll be successful. And I believe that's what all we need to do is to care and do.
Grace, it's been a pleasure to have
Thank
you
you
on
for
the
having
program.
me.
I appreciate you.
Welcome.
Okay, and thank you for spending your time with us. Now you see why I think this lady is so cool. All the stuff that she does. I know she doesn't like. She says that she doesn't like to see her picture. She doesn't have to like to be recognized. But the fact is that we have a lovely community of Nashua. We have a lot of people that can do so much for one another, and we simply need to come together more often. We need to follow the lead of those that do that we think that should be done. Instead of having a meeting about doing good things, let's do good things. That's why Grace and I work together, because we're doers. And there's a lot of other people out there that are doers in the community. We all know each other. Let's come together, let's work together. I want to mention real quick, I know some people have mentioned to me in Facebook that I'm not as active, or people don't see me as much as often in the community of Nashua. I want to let everybody know I am as active as ever, only that I'm doing it behind the scenes. I'm not in the public eye per se, because I'm now working out of Nashua. I'm working out of Manchester. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see that I'm all over the state, and I'm going into Maine. I want to make people healthy. I want to do everything that I can to teach people how to live a healthy lifestyle, and I'm not limited by any geographical area. So you don't see me around so much, but I'm still doing the same work. And again, like I said before, something big is coming, because I want to be useful, just like Grace. And with that, I want to thank you again for your time. I want to wish you that God blesses you, happiness and health. Your friend, your CHW, Rafael Calderon.
Hi, my name is Barbara Maffeo. I am the co-owner of the Body and Brain Yoga Studio here at Riverwalk in Lawrence.
Hello, my name is Shole Getty, and I am the co-owner of Body and Brain Yoga Tai Chi in Lawrence.
Hi, I'm Orlando. Welcome to Bonneville & Son, located at 625 Hooksett Road in Manchester, New Hampshire. We have a huge inventory with over 400 vehicles to choose from: Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, certified pre-owned, used vehicles, and more. Our service department keeps your vehicle running like new. With a Miles or Smiles card providing multiple discounts to our loyal customers, you're part of the family now. Once you buy a vehicle here, you're not a customer. You become part of the family. See it for yourself. Go on to dealerrater.com, where we've been Dealer of the Year for 5 years in a row. ¡Wow! Y no te olvides, yo también hablo español, ayudando a toda mi comunidad de New Hampshire. 4 generaciones, una pasión, creer en Bonneville.
preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.